So this is a screencast on how to make your own doorstop with your name using a computer-aided design software called tinkercad, which is surprisingly simple to use, but really actually pretty powerful. So we have mine in front of you, and I'm going to show you how to make one with your own name. First thing is you need to go to tinkercad.com, and it's real easy to make a account because it'll link to your Google account, and then it'll remember all your designs and everything you have. So once you've got logged in or are logged in, you can then begin to create your name. Now you may want to initially go right here to text, which 9 times out of 10 will work for you, but since we have to make our letters touch one another, I don't think this is the way to go. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I don't know. So what we're going to do instead is go from basic shapes to text, and we're going to drag over the letters that we need for our name. Don't worry, I'm not going to spell out my whole name. That would take a while. I'm just going to do these letters right here. We'll do SAP. And notice I went up here. You just have to click on it, and you can name it whatever you want it to be, and it will save that for you. It's a lot like Google Docs in that it saves everything you do as you're going along. Now the next thing is taking a look at all the different letters. You need to get them touching one another. And in order to do that, you just got to go in, click on each letter individually, and drag it over so that you can see some overlap in the letters. And once you've done that, you don't have to be super specific about aligning it because you can highlight all of them. Just left click, highlight and undo, and it'll highlight all of them. And then you're going to hit the align button, and you can align them along this plane right here, and it makes it nice and neat. Then after you've got them all aligned like that, you're going to group them together, and that's just going to allow you to do everything to all the letters at once. And if you ever make a mistake, you can just come up here and hit the undo button. It's pretty simple. Now, to get the measurements that I've found work for a decent sized doorstop, I'm going to move the ruler over, and you can see as soon as I do that and I click on my object, it's going to give me the dimensions in millimeters. And this particular one, I found that about 144 works for that dimension, and 50 works for that dimension. So we can zoom out. You can see that that's a pretty good size, and it looks like it's pretty good in a proportion. Now we need to get the height of the blocks. So instead of 4 millimeters, which is pretty thin, we need to move it up to 20. And that gives us a good system to work with. Now we'll just drag this over into the workspace. And this is the most challenging part right here. You're going to need to make a box out of the clear material, which means it's going to be a hole, which means it's going to remove this portion from the print. And we just need to make the block pretty large so that it will cover up all of our name that we need it to. And once we have that, we can drag it over, and it looks like I made it big enough so that it covers everything up. Now, this is the part right here, and I think it's 7 degrees. But you're going to click on this little angle right here. When you do that, you'll want to run up high so that it will do small amounts. And there was the 7 degree mark. Now I take it in this little up arrow. I drag that up into the air. And now if you zoom in, you can see how it's just going to slice off a little tiny bit of the top over here on the left and quite a bit of it over here on the right. So that's going to work because that's going to be able to fit underneath your door, and this will be high enough to block it. So once you've done that, you can unzoom. And we want to highlight the whole thing and come up to our group button. And you'll see how it then removes that portion I had selected. And now we have my name in the form of a doorstop. So that's it. You've created your doorstop. If you want me to print it for you, then all you need to do is go into tinkercad right here. Click on your design, hit tinker this. Okay, well, that's new. Let's go back to here. Click on that and hit download for 3D printing. You'll want to download it as an STL file. It'll download it to your computer, and then you just send that as an attachment in an email to Sappington, and we can print it off. Or you can just log into your tinkercad account at the computer set up to the 3D printer. All right, so if you want to do that, now you know how.